Sadiq Khan has been exposed of basically covering up the grooming gangs in London because he's apparently read excerpts of what was going on, despite at the same time denying them, ladies and gentlemen. The Mayor of London read reports of young girls being raped in hotels by groups of men, whilst publicly denying there were any grooming gangs in the capital. Susan Hall famously took him, I believe it was Susan Hall, took him to task over this, and he said, I don't know of any of these gangs operating in London. It's a paradise.
I asked you this question last week and you found every which way but not to answer it. Just how many grooming gangs have we got in London?
To avoid any misunderstanding, can she define what she means by that?
Yes. If you look at what's gone on in Rotherham, where there are people taking young girls, grooming them for sex, that is what I'm talking about.
Well, we know in London there are issues about exploitation of young people, but they're not as defined by the member in her definition of what those types of gangs are.
Children were plied with drugs and had their lives threatened.
So are you saying we haven't got the same sort of gangs that are in Rotherham, Bradford and lots of other places in the country?
Just for what's misunderstanding, what does she mean by that?
The cases followed the same pattern that she had seen with Greater Manchester Police's cover-up of the Rochdale scandal.
You know full well what I mean by that. It's all over the television. You know exactly what I mean by that. These gangs of people that are grooming young girls for sex. Do we actually have those in London?
I'm unclear, Chair, what is meant by the question. If you could spell it out, I can answer.
Based on the ground assessments of the Met's handling of sexual abuse cases from the start of Khan's tenure to this year, the inspectorate reports explain, often in horrific detail, how police were slow to react to evidence for girls as young as 13 years old, exploited by gangs, predatory men.
Just spelt it out. Are you not listening? It's the sort of gangs that groom young girls at a young age for sex. Exactly how much clearer do you want me to be?
London, where a rape is occurring every hour on average, mind you, possibly even more now, you know. So many are fleeing the cities, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, many are fleeing the cities to areas like mine. But this is the Mayor of London, no surprise, having the motivation to do it, giving as a foreigner himself, right, whilst covering up the grooming, whilst saying that there were no grooming gangs in London, was reading excerpts, was reading reports of them happening.